Okay, whoever's gonna start begin.
Hi, my name is Annalie Villarreal and I'm majoring in nursing.
I'm Maria Regina Rodriguez and I'm majoring in education.
Hello, my name is Victor Alvarez and I'm majoring in history and political science.
Hi, I'm Victoria Cantu, and I'm majoring in business and accounting.
Hi, I'm Juan Martinez and I'm majoring in nursing.
Hello, I am Lori Ortiz and I am majoring in psychology.
Hi, I'm Mario Alvarado and I'm majoring in criminal justice and psychology. This is our presentation on Elizabeth Loftus and her theory on the misinformation effect.
The misinformation effect. The misinformation effect refers to the phenomenon that occurs when outside factors can result in erroneous recollections of an event. It is most applicable to testimonial scenarios where an eyewitness have their memories altered through retroactive interference. It is seen more often in negative scenarios. New information that is suggested will replace old information. The misinformation effect also connects to the false memory theory that was studied by Elizabeth Loftus. She uses the term corroboration. Corroboration can lead to a confession of something that they didn't do, and this happens when a person tells another something that they assume is correct, which leads to the other person to interpret the scenario, and that creates the false memory. False memories are also implanted into people's minds to cover up traumatic events. Elizabeth Loftus conducted a research with other researchers to see where these memories come from and how they are created by the individual. One of their studies was interviewing children and parents separately and asking them about getting lost at a shopping mall. Although most kids seemed to have a memory about this matter, the parents disagreed and claimed that it never happened. The children were then told that it was just a false memory that was made up from simply bringing up that subject by the researchers.
Retroactive interference. Retroactive interference is closely related to Elizabeth Loftus because the misinformation effect deals with the idea that an eyewitness can be fed information that will hinder their ability to recall past events and the details that may be forgotten or confused. This phenomenon mostly happens when the ability of someone to recall information is disturbed by new information. For example, when studying for two exams, the ability to recall the information in the study material may be difficult because the information can interfere with the old information, especially when the subjects or terminology are similar. In some cases, retroactive interference is temporary, and what this refers to is the ability for old information that will outlast the new information. This happens when we are able to recall older information better than the new information. Retroactive interference may also occur at the same time as proactive interference. Proactive interference relates to information stored in long-term memory that hinders the ability to remember new information. This happens mostly when similar information from two different sources and details can overlap and the information as well as cause confusion when either of these two types of interferences occur. This overlap happens more frequently than we may believe, and it is part of our everyday lives.
Repressed memories. The idea of memory repression dates back to the late 1800s and was introduced by Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud believed that people repressed memories that were connected to traumatic experiences as a defense tool. So, by repressing difficult memories that usually come with difficult thoughts and unwanted negative emotions, was essentially a coping mechanism that kept those memories, thoughts, and emotions out of the conscious awareness. This theory, however, was challenged and ended up becoming a controversy in the psychology field. It seemed that others thought that the idea that people who repress these memories that were too difficult to address and then recover them through therapy was hard to believe and in later years was discredited. Elizabeth Loftus was a perfect example of someone who was able to help challenge this theory and will be discussed in the next slide. eyewitness testimonies. Elizabeth Loftus has shaped how eyewitness testimonies are perceived. One of the reasons is through memory gaps, which was defined as stress and fear causing an individual to remember central details, but not details that produce less emotion-provoking details. Some of these details could be the color of someone's clothes or a number that could solve a case through their eyewitness testimony. Loftus further drives the point that certainty is not always an indicator of accuracy. So sometimes these eyewitnesses who are the most certain can provide misleading information and persuade judges or jurors. The misinformation effect has proven that certainty does not show any type of accuracy, and jurors and judges should be able to consider and keep this in mind in their line of work when fairly judging a case.
False memories also invite misinformation. In neuroimaging studies supported by Wood and Associates, it has been proposed that vivid mental replays of false memories can enhance the process of straightening them even further. In Loftus's research, this would mean that this could be due to an understanding that a person's cognitive memories are created by the sensations they receive. Such is the example with traumatic events. Say, for example, someone believes they went through abuse in their younger life and that their memories could be repressed. That'd be examples of abuse that can be sexual, physical, or emotional pain. For Loftus's theory of research of misinformation, when attempting to help someone uncover such repressed memories, regardless of the circumstances under which these memories were implanted, they have always managed to make one feel conscious of their past and that whatever they see as memories must have been traumatic and sad. Her theory, in essence, is based on the idea that any suggestion that something traumatic happened in the past will be reinforced by the person's subconscious, even if it were not true. The strong emotional response that the person has to the suggestion further strengthens the idea that the event actually did happen. When people truly do believe with confidence that these events did happen to them, it creates the misperception that they are victims of traumatic events.
Criticisms and evaluations of the misinformation effect. Like other theories in psychology, Elizabeth Loftus's theories have been the subject of both support and criticism. One such instance of support was Manjuli and others' experiment, where a group of people were exposed to a mock crime video. Two groups were formed, one that would confess the truth and another that would simulate forgetting details of the crime. Then the groups were subdivided into two other groups. One of the groups was not contacted again until they were called back to recount the events, and the other group, on the other hand, was retold to the events of the crime. But the researchers added false information to this recount of the events. The others found that the group that was exposed to misinformation recalled false facts, even when assigned to confess the truth. Conclusively, this experiment demonstrates the effectiveness of misinformation in creating false memories or distorting real ones, something that in real life can bring different outcomes, especially in those situations. It's also worth mentioning the criticism directed toward Loftus's theories. Many experts believe that false memories and/or the misinformation effect cannot be proved, or that there is not enough evidence to sustain them. Some even claim they are entirely wrong. They advise therapists to believe everything their patients say, even if they believe their patients may be lying. This makes therapists keep talking about abuse or trauma or ask questions, which, according to misinformation effect, can keep distorting patients' memories or creating false memories. Others even accuse doctors of, and those who believe in false memories, of ignoring real cases of sexual abuse. However, there is a middle ground between skepticism and support for false memories and the misinformation effect. Some others are convinced by false memories. Nonetheless, they still hold that memory repression can still exist and argue that there is enough evidence to demonstrate it. As mentioned earlier, repressed memories was a term developed by Freud, referring to a defense mechanism used commonly in individuals who, as children, experienced emotional, physical, or sexual abuse, or any other traumatic or stressful event. Despite their criticisms, Loftus's theories have enough evidence and support to be considered valid.
Why is Elizabeth Lawford theory so important in today's society? It is being used in court for crimes that have been committed recently. When her theory, with her theory, the law system have been taking extended measures into understanding how our brain can manipulate and change information. She has been a voice to help individuals who have been wrongly accused of crime based on false repressive memories. She has appeared as an expert witness in more than 300 trials and has testified in numbers of high profile sexual misconduct and murder cases. For example, the O.J. Simpson, Ted Bundy, and also officers accused in the Rodney King beating.
How does the misinformation effect relate to the real world? The research article that will be discussed states that most of the applications of the misinformation effect have been used in legal cases, as mentioned in the previous slide. The misinformation effect by this article has been stated that to have different interpretations and a multitude of applications. It has also been stated by the article that the misinformation effect occurs through a three-stage paradigm. This paradigm involves a person witnessing the event, the information after the event has concluded, and then the recollection of the event. Some supporting factors that can lead to this are misinformation distortion or divided attention during an eyewitness as the event is taking place. The article discusses that there are two types of memories that are described, which are gist memories and vertebral memories. Gist memories only show the most important part of interpretations. For example, we could remember a carpenter holding a tool when working on a project. Vertebral memories are those that store details of an event. An example of this would be the same carpenter, but instead, we would be able to remember the specific type of tool, such as a hammer or a handsaw. The most important aspect when discussing gist memories is that they are more susceptible to misinformation effect, and those missing details can be influenced by outside factors, making individuals believe in something that they did not see. While the effects of the eyewitnesses have been discussed before, the article provides better insight on some of the questions. One of the questions that it answers is that even people with exceptional memory can still be affected and causes the misinformation effect to be a phenomenon. One specific finding of the study is that there are individual differences in individuals that can make them more or less susceptible to the effects of the misinformation effect. Some short-term memory and working memory capacity, perceptual processes, and fluid intelligence were some of the things that researchers accounted for in the study, and this showed type of influence susceptibility. This research journal also argues that the misinformation effect is likely a side effect of our typical mnemonic function. Mnemonic devices are a way in which we are able to improve our memory through learning strategies, such as reciting information, as practice over learning, as well as some other developed strategies. It is argued that memory is considered flexible as a mechanism and it undergoes many changes. These changes are usually due in updating information as we encounter it, and new information would be that case. Another point is that authors of the journal make it so that episodic memory is also at risk of distortion and source monitoring errors. They say that no matter how detailed or encoded a memory can seem, many distortions are always possible, which further drives the point of certainty not being the same as accuracy. Overall, the authors of the journal work on existing facts of the theory and help provide more context through their research and experiments on memory.
Why is Elizabeth Lawford important to psychology? She is a professor of psychology and an expert researcher on the malleability and reliability of the repressed memories. She has opened doors that are unique and controversial aspects of psychology and memory. She taught us how our brain can manipulate and how it can change information and how it can lead to false memory and false repressed memory. It's a big help because it helped a lot of people who were accused of false crimes and false repressed memories.
In conclusion, Elizabeth's theory of misinformation effect has showed many things, one of which showed that our memories are not as reliable as what people seem to be. This unreliability was made through Elizabeth Loftus in legal settings as eyewitnesses are susceptible to the misinformation effect. We have developed strategies that overall decrease the likelihood of causing an eyewitness to misinterpret or disrupt their memory through modern questioning or modern lineups. Oftentimes, our mind and brain may interpret information of events that we have not experienced because of outside influences that can disrupt our memory or distractions that may appear during the instance of the event. The misinformation effect is regarded as one of the major psychological theories of memory, and it has helped us shape how we perceive memory. Thus, it has been shown that if someone experiences the misinformation effect, it is difficult for them to know if they are experiencing it, and this is why we currently have to be aware of the concept itself.
And those are our references. Thank you.